Jesus, Lord, we come before you, Father, thanking you, Lord, for all that you do and continue to do in our lives. Father, we invite your Holy Spirit to just have your way today. Father, we thank you, Lord, for your goodness, Father, that endures forever. We thank you, Lord, that we would just have your wisdom today. We thank you for your protection. We thank you, Lord, for your guidance. We give you praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it is 9:19. We got a couple of minutes. I went ahead and marked up all of our pre-market, post-market, yesterday market kind of stuff. I got all that stuff marked up, but honestly, let me pull this off. Gold, this is the previous high that we were looking to take if we start to move back up, but we're respecting this trend line. So this would be that next level to take. I like taking everything up and just taking a look real quick to see what the actual market's doing. Overall, we've really been magnetized, if you will, to this level right here. So we popped above it just briefly, came right back into it. So now we really need to see a break above this pre-market high, or at least below this trend line with a retest. And I'm talking not just the breakout, strategy. JGS is really good for stuff like this, but right now we're in a range. We need to see the breakout, the extension, and then the retest to confirm it, not just the spring. So that's gold. If I go to NQ has really been respecting this level we made our spring. We took that high. We took all that liquidity out. If I scroll all the way over, our next levels aren't till quite a ways up. So I'm wondering if that nice little spring to the upside was enough. But remember, before this happened, okay, we had taken the low as well. So we took out yesterday's close and we took out the low. And then we popped up and took out the high. So now we're still sitting right back in this range. Yes, it's kind of forming upward, but it's not doing anything, particularly aggressive or direct or clear. So kind of an interesting area to be in. We need to be able to break this trend line to the downside and retest, or we're going to need to break this high, the newest high, and retest to kind of give us that clear direction. Otherwise, we're going to take what we see, be a little bit more cautious maybe than Tuesday. It was a full losing day, 2 losing trades, which is okay. It's part of it. And we followed the strategy. For that, I'm not going to be too upset about a losing trade. Here we go. So that's a big, big area to kind of come and take. That was news this morning. ES looks very much so the same. We took the high. That's our previous high. We took that level. Prior to taking here, we took out the yesterday's close. We took out overnight lows. As you saw yesterday, it was completely range bound, really didn't go anywhere. Tuesday also really didn't go very far. This had bigger moves. Tuesday just popped up and down, smaller moves, at least bigger moves on Wednesday. And now here's where we're sitting. So gold we already went over. Boom, we've been in a tear to the upside. Now we really need to see some kind of direction. Otherwise, we're taking this bounce off this trend line to come take out this next high. So kind of cool to see that. And then, of course, crude. Crude, I think we're taking out yesterday's high. And then beyond that, we've got our previous highs, which is what, 64, 12, 6412, 6420. Look at me, can't talk. This is where I'd be taking it if I'm taking crude. But that's a lot of volume. It's a lot of just empty space. A lot of still gaps on the market here. And then, of course, YM. YM has not taken the high, not just yet. We've got multiple levels of liquidity to come and steal for US 30. Lots of still gaps to the downside if we went and scroll to a bigger time frame that we still have yet to kind of meet or beat. So I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out. It's okay if you sit on your hands. It's okay if you de-risk tomorrow's NFP. So we could kind of have a non-start open, especially with all the volume we had pre-news or pre-market open. So you're going to have to make your own decision there if you want to put on the extra risk or not. But today is the day before NFP. We already had huge moves this morning, and now we're going to go and see. So that's all the way on the hourly time frame. I took off some of those other ones. 15-minute. Look at the size of that candle. We took the low, then the high. Now we're kind of coming back down. This is yesterday's low and yesterday's close, same spot. Pre-market, it's going to be 4 a.m. This is going to be fun because we're sitting like smack dab in the middle. We got to take either of those. Smack dab in the middle.
I don't know if you caught it, but silver, it's made a huge move up.
Silver. What's that ticker?
Uh, you can do SI1 bang. That'll work.
SI. Not sure
That'll
that.
work right there.
Look at that. Holy moly. Look at the difference in that price action too. This is silver on the hourly. Silver has taken all of those levels for a hot minute. Well, if this is correlated to gold like everyone thinks it is, then you've got a nice upside move to gold for gold. Because look at that. Have you been trading silver much? I don't trade silver.
No, I just saw in the news that it's made a big move up.
Let gold kind of come and trap all the traders down here. Take out a few of these levels, nice spring, and then take all that upside. Because that would be a beautiful move, especially if we wait for a slightly better entry. But we've just retested. What is the value of that? I don't think I have that little thing turned on right here. Oh, the indicators are off. Doi. I was like, where did it go? 5 minutes. So silver isn't silver like a lot per? Yeah, that's a lot of monies. $5,000 per point, but I bet you it's not a lot of points either, though.
There should be a micro also, which should be, 250 a tick.
What is this, 1 point?
Hmm?
This is 1 point, right?
Right, but that's going to be $1, which is, considering what your tick size is, it's a lot of ticks.
That's a big move. 1 point.
Because your points are going to be from like $35 to $36 if you look at, how that scales on the right side of your chart.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's really big. So
A lot of ticks. I don't even know what that multiplication is into that. That's a lot of ticks, guys.
so half a penny is a tick size. So that's $25 per half penny.
Yeah, whoever's in charge of that probably should redo that math. But I mean,
But there should be a micro,
yeah, I bet
probably
you.
MSI.
Let's do this.
Maybe not.
Well, that's not it. Silver,
We're coming close to the
mini,
open.
micro. We got 3 minutes till the open, right? Unless my clock is wrong. Why is that a different? Micro silvers. There we go. That's still pretty expensive in comparison. That's
So
a
the
big,
micro silver is SIL.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm going down to the 2 minute, guys. I think here's where we're at. 2 minute time frame. Turn our indicators back on. We've got everything we need. We're on NQ. My favorite instrument to trade during Asian is still gold. Like gold during Asian is beautiful. Gold during pre-market, beautiful. NQ. But I like ES better for New York. And I know it's not as many points or whatever to write home about, but it gives you more time to react. It gives you more time to manage, especially given that New York has just been a crap show so much, so often, so frequently. At least come fill this imbalance. But we'll see. Anybody have a hypothesis on the market today? Hold on, let me pull up the chat too. Well, that was a weird view. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. In our Discord, we got some really cool testimonies. And testimony just sounds so cheesy, but just really cool success stories. Like one guy, he's definitely using JGS and he's doing futures, and it was just beautiful to see. I think he made like $1,800 on gold in his PA account, which I think is fantastic in his PA account. So, and I know he passed his other ones, which is it's just awesome. People are doing the dang thing. David is doing mostly almost 100%, if I'm not mistaken, all breakout. And he does it, I think it's 6 a.m. my time. I could be wrong. Sorry if I'm wrong, but that's awesome. And he just takes his trade and be done. And I think he does one in the evening and one in the morning, and that's it. Andrew, learn more about which one. JGS or breakout. You have access to all of it. If you're on this class, you have access to all of it. If you're a Futrix member, you have 3 classes and then my script and my strategies. Uncle P is using my Asian strategy. Oh, here comes opening bell. So you have 3 classes and then my script and strategies. If you're 6 FTC, you have all the MT4 and MT5 stuff and algos and stuff, and my strategies and the scripts and everything else too. JJS. Let's see how this plays out. Minimize that. Better. Much better. Right now we're definitely in bullish territory.
By the way, that gigantic candle apparently was just an announcement that Trump had called G. That was it. Not
Trump,
even any content.
Trump had called who?
President of China.
Oh, lovely. I just know we popped down at 8:30 and that was news. And then this one right here is 8:48. So news, this looked huge at the time because at the time this was, you know, pretty big. That was news. But then this, which is what, 3-4 times as large, was literally a phone call. I love the market we're in. It's so much fun. So I'm in good spirits. I slept so much in the last 2 days. I think I caught a fever because I never sleep. I'm not much of a sleeper. So for me to have slept that much, let me tell you, you know, it was something real. There we go. We're getting ourselves to the downside. That's 30 seconds still left on this 2-minute candle. That's rough.
Build gap.
Come fill this imbalance, which we talked about right there. Nice. So we just now got below that VWAP. Okay, we're gonna do the dang thing. I've got up Apex. I've got up Take Profit Trader. We're still in that 2-minute zone. We love that trade. We're in bearish territory. We're still sitting above the VWAP. And we're getting ready to break out below that. This is a very big range though. So if we're taking this trade, you're taking it with a grain of salt. We've already filled that. Here's a target, here's a target, here's a target. So I'm gonna come over here. Please move out of my way. NQ. Waiting. I'm on the 1-minute time frame too off screen. So let that come up a little bit. Move this over here. And looking to sell. So we don't, beautiful move. We just wicked down. We still got a minute left on this. We still haven't tapped that in yet. See if we can't pull up a little bit more. Looking to try and enter here. We're back at that area. That's going to be a rough, because we're also sitting at this high right here. So we just now are getting below that, but we're pulling back up. Lots of wicks to the downside. I'd really like to get that. That 1-minute move would have been perfect. Well, there's that. Yes. This is NQ. So just a wick, not really confirmation yet. Being a little bit more cautious because we're sitting in such a range. I don't want to take just the break. Typically I would, but I need some kind of preferably close. And here we go. Still waiting. ES is looking pretty downside friendly. Gold is up and out already. I'd be wanting to buy this from here all the way up into here. Let this pull back a smidge. But that means gold, and that would buy. Oil's up. Lamb is down. retesting the middle. Looking to long this. Much more digestible range. So even if it comes back in, I would still give it the whole amount of that range. This is not looking very user friendly here. We're still sitting in the middle for NQ. So let this pull down a little bit and get a little bit on gold. Even on the 2 minutes, we've just got wicks both directions. I can show you which one I like in just a second. Volume weighted, what is it? The volume weighted average price. So we broke down, we retested 50% on ES. ES is great. On NQ, we retested 50%. So we've got this move. We know we'd be targeting yesterday's close, pre-market, and then yesterday's low. But that's, again, a pretty big range. So if you're taking this, we're going to have to take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to go ahead and go to ES. Look to sell. And on the right account, 41. Selling, I'm going to give it all that much room. Now I'm going to go, so I'm in ES. Short. ES, that much. All the way through, coming down. Not a lot of points, but that's okay. Go track gold. And NQ is moving too. So I'm looking to buy, which account? 35, so 79. Looking to buy late on gold. So I got gold and I've got ES. Much later entry than that. And let's go look at ES. 1 hour range. I'm sorry, sweetie? Mute all. Gold's pulling back now. Five minute, we've got 2 minutes left on that candle, and ES is still sitting. They're not going anywhere just yet. I'm just using the high of that range. I'd like to see us at least come take, what is that, 5957. Let's go here. Yes. 5957 is all the way. Into this range. Now we wait. This is the 5 minute. So big picture, I think NQ, you've got a potential entry there, but I don't want to be in all of those instruments at one time. So we've got ES, not bad. It might pull back up as long as we're kind of staying below that level we like. Gold. Pulling down a little bit. As long as we're staying above this level, we're fine. Trying to push back up.
Are we in gold now?
I'm in gold and ES. NQ is not bad at all. I just don't want to pay the NQ fees this morning and on the day before NFP. So overall, great trade. I think you've got a lot of potential here. Here's on the 2 minute view. You're still inside of that too. You're just now breaking outside. So you've got a potential trade set up here. I'm already locked here. I need to go ahead and hopefully not let that knock me out, but this will start automatically trailing here shortly. We're up $230, but this is mirrored to, I don't know, 10, 11 accounts. The other accounts are just mirroring in micro, so they're not like something amazing to write home about. I'm going to try to remove this back. I'm up $500, $500 times 10 accounts. Well, the other ones are less, but there you go. I got knocked out and I'm done on ES. So not a bad way to be. That for me, with the way I'm managing on all those accounts, actually, I better check my trade sinker because some of them are still open. Flatten. Oh no, I can't flatten all. That is not good. Hold on. I gotta go manually close all these. Yes. What am I going to do? Yes. Flatten. Flatten. It's gonna take me a second, guys. And gold is moving up. I had to manually close on this little thing, every single one that didn't close properly. So here's where gold is sitting. Gold is currently up about 50, 60 bucks, pulled down a little bit. And this was a horribly late entry too, so different broker. I like to see us come into this range. Hold. I'd like to see us at least come into here. But big picture stuff, 5 minute. If you, depending on the kind of account you're trading, I would be bringing this all the way up into here. Protecting along the way, obviously. That's where I'd be bringing this. NQ's pulling back up. See, we broke down, but man, we came right back in. So perfect protection there on ES. Came down. This is 5 minute. Hit pre-market lows, yesterday's lows. Again, this is yesterday's close. Yesterday low, pre-market low. Hold on. Pre-market low. Yesterday low. And pre-market. So right now we're still really sitting above pre-market low. We just tapped that. We haven't broke it yet. So still in the same range. But still managed to get 400, 500, 600 bucks out of it. Gold isn't really making its move yet. It's still kind of just playing around. Because it hasn't made its move yet, we can decide how we want to manage or mitigate. Depending on your account size, your balance, how much equity, how much room, how much drawdown you have, you can say, hey, look, and I'm just going to use this as price action. Obviously, your entry and stuff might be different. But you can, I'm going to go to 5 minutes, so it's a better breakout view. Say we entered, okay? Your entries, you know, your entry's a B plus, you know, whatever. If within X amount of candles, you haven't got the extension you were trying to get, because remember, this is volume based, this is momentum. So if it's not giving you the momentum you were looking for, you can pop to a smaller time frame and say, okay, well, I no longer need to give it this entire range. Maybe now I'm going to give it, again, that halfway point, or hey, if we start breaking down below our entry candle, I'm just going to close this one. I have no reason to let it run. So you have that option too, which in this case, that entry candle is pretty much the 50%. But if you go to a smaller time frame, maybe it's, hey, I'm going to give it this first candle that broke out. Like, you've got lots of options to decide, hey, I don't like the way that this is sitting or moving. It's not extending the way I wanted it to extend, but it needs to be part of your rules. I mean, that's still the goal. So if you can see, we're kind of rejecting here. We don't have any volume. Nothing's happening. We just have no control over that. Obviously late, that's an awful entry too. Right at the wick, pulled down, and now we're sitting right back here. So we'll see. This is only mirrored to 2 accounts. These are both mirrored with minis. So we shall see. And I like NQ. NQ, let's go take a look. We broke down below the 20. We've retested. However, we've got this 2 candle formation, kind of not quite tweezer bottoms or not quite evil, but we did come up and retest that moving average, right? So JGS, this is that retest. Other people call it a flag, right? But we've known and traded this for a long time. where we get the break, we get the extension, and we get the retest. So this is the retest if and when we can kind of break below the 767 level. If we break below, but because this is it, we came back down, but we don't have the continuation yet. If I went to the 1 minute just to see what that looks like, well, gold's pulling down. 400 bucks in red. Let's see if we can't respect that view up a little bit, that moving average. 1 minute on gold. It broke down, retested, came in here. YM, I haven't been trading a lot of YM. YM was probably smooth though. Look at that, clean, nothing. Did you take this? Did you take your YM? Because that's perfect, it's beautiful. No hesitation, no nothing. Broke
Nope,
through.
I saw it.
Go ahead. No, but what? Boom.
I just saw that move.
Yeah, it is perfect.
It
Beautiful.
it already broke the daily low.
Well, we've got our confirmation. We broke past pre-market low and yesterday's low. So now we would just want that retest. And NQ is breaking down to the downside too. So I'm looking to enter NQ. I'm entering. Hold on. One thing at a time. I'm in NQ. It knocked me out before I could even get it on screen. It's just market's really jumpy. So once we broke past this trend line, I entered and I already knocked out with $400, $500 profit here. And gold is still sitting in drawdown, sadly, but real. This is NQ. As we broke and we needed to close below, this is a 1 minute view. That's $400 on a what is it, a mini? And that's all you need. That mirrored to 10 accounts. That account is up 700. It's up between 780 and 800 and like $20, $30 on each one of those accounts, just from those two moves. This one, of course, is not sitting too pretty. This one is filtered to two different accounts. The other one's filtered to more. Still not giving me anything. I really don't want it to close below this wick, but we'll see. And NQ is still moving. That was perfect, man. Perfect on NQ. Just as we break down below, we went to go look at YM real quick, but that's it. The whole move. Like you don't need a whole bunch if you're trading a mini. If you're good on your execution, you're good on your approach, you're literally you're set. So you don't need much more than that, if any. Just baby steps. Beautiful. Gold is the one I'm not being too nice. ES could have got a re-entry, didn't. Gold coming back down. We're still respecting that 50% mark, which is what we need. If I was trading a little differently, depending on how this candle closes, I would add to my position and get out a little bit sooner. So get out at that 50% mark, for example. But right now, I don't love the price action right now. So I have no reason for me to do that. And the indices are tanking beautifully. Now I just gotta babysit gold. That's it. 5 minute time frame. Between gold, NAS, and 500, I hit $900. Good job. Gold, NAS, and 500. What do you mean? Oh, S&P? S&P 500? What do you mean 500? Good job. Okay, if you made money today, will you pretty please put it in the chats or come on out and tell me, how did you do? Did you take any of these trades? I know I'm still sitting in gold. Still holding it. Ah. I don't want to get tapped out, but we're likely going to get tapped out on that. If you made money, put it in the chats. What did you take? What did you do? Here comes gold to the downside. Let's see. Can I manage? Is there anything I can do to mitigate this? and give it that little bit of room, but that's it. The indices are coming up.
Hey, Jenny, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So yesterday, Dingleberry Me, I violated one of my rules because I did not know. I'm still getting used to futures. So I opened up a second contract on NQ, and I thought that futures is kind of like Forex, where if you got multiple positions, wherever you enter in the second one, that's where you're going to be entered at. But as soon as I opened up a second contract on NQ, my account went like doubled in the red because I was already down. So I thought I was going to get a better position, but they jumped me automatically to like negative $2,000, and I was down like 1,000.
Okay.
And is that the case with futures that whenever you enter, if you enter in the second position, it automatically puts you where you enter in on the first one?
So if I sold one sell contract here, okay, and let's say the market starts going against me, okay, and I'm still sure of my analysis or whatever, or I get a reason to re-enter. Let's say I take another position, another just one contract, so one sell order here, and this is the price that I entered at, right? What it's going to do, and different brokers do paint this differently on your chart, is what that's going to do is it's going to make it look like your entry is like right here. It's going to make it look, here, I'll use red. Okay. It's going to make it look like your entry is kind of somewhere in between these two based off of, you know, the percentage of the difference in where you entered. But what it's going to look like on screen is two cells here. So this entry might be where you actually entered, that entry might be where you actually entered. But on Forex, if I entered a cell, one cell, one cell, one cell, it's going to just look like I have three orders. On futures, on the other hand, it's going to look like, hey, I scaled into my position. So there you go. It's going to look like two now instead of the one and the one. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes, it does. And I learned an expensive lesson yesterday. So now I know.
Well, I don't know. If this kept going against you, so going back to the whole it's going against you, and I think that this works better. I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to say. The amount you lose at this position is still going to be the same. Like if you had done this on, you know, futures or Forex or whatever, because now, I mean, obviously per the brokerage that you're trading or per the amount, the value that you're trading, but it just moves the position. So you didn't think, where did you put your stop loss, or it just kind of was a margin call?
I don't know. I put my stop loss below the low.
And you were buying.
Yes, at that time, yes.
Gotcha. So you tried to buy, markets come against you a little bit, you try to buy again, but it was just too much for the account to carry based off of probably like the drawdown. And you got knocked out.
Yeah, I lost about close to 2,400 on that trade. But I
Wow.
mean, I'm just still getting used to futures. I mean, I like futures better than Forex, to be honest with you. But I did not know that. You know, I thought it was similar as Forex, where you know if you got multiple positions open, it's going to get you where you normally jump in on. So
Well, so futures does that. I mean, that's why I'm misunderstanding, because if I try to buy, let's say I bought here, and obviously, like technically I'm right, but it pulls against me first. If I buy again here, it's going to give me a better average price than if I had bought here or here. It's going to kind of average these two together. But Forex doesn't do that. So it works really well in futures, like if the broker or the prop that you're using allows that.
okay. Hmm.
Yeah, maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, because what I'm guessing is you hit the daily drawdown amount, or you hit the max, whatever. What account were you on? What brokerage or what firm?
Got a 150 account. My daily drawdown is 4,500. But it hit my stop loss. I mean, I always set my stop loss, and it hit my stop loss. So,
Okay. Well, it was a
but I
rough.
mean, yeah, I made pretty good. Like I said, I made almost 900, so I made some of it back today. So I'm done for today.
Nice, not bad.
Yep.
Not
Yeah,
bad
just
at
to
all.
try to clarify that a little bit. Jenny, can you drag the chart just to the right a little bit? I'm going to use this low here. So your stop loss is sitting down here, and maybe you did your first entry around here. Or wait a minute. No, you're in a pullback. So no, bad example. Let me see here. Let's just say you were buying. Okay, you're selling here, and your stop loss was sitting up here. So price is moving up against you, and you add a position here. Now your average price is down in this area. But the distance to your stop loss now is against 2 contracts. So this is twice, almost twice the size. The closer the price gets to the point that you add, if you add it up here, you're not adding that much risk because your stop loss is still sitting up there. It won't move your stop loss. It will only, kind of add to the size. So the value of that move to your stop loss is going to be double from the point at which you enter moving toward your stop. Am I clear on that?
Yes, Scott. I do appreciate it.
Okay.
Wait, were you buying? So when you were buying it, did you buy when you were already up, or did you buy again when you were moving down, when it was going against you?
Yesterday morning. Not during the Asian.
But so was price going in your favor when you took another position, or was
When I first jumped in, yes, it went in my favor, but then it went against me.
Gotcha, gotcha. Gotcha. Well,
But I appreciate it. Y'all answering my question. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
and just remember that if you've sized it for your appropriate risk, adding to that is going to start to blow out your sizing. Okay. So now you're going to take a larger risk than you would have had you just left it in place.
That's very true. We probably have another entry, guys, coming up on the indices. Gold kind of came down, tapped that other opposite side. It looks like it's trying to push down a little bit. So I'm not in love with selling this a little bit yet. I would need, what do we do? Just form the 15-minute range? And we're not closing below it. And we're not closing below pre-market low. We're not closing below yesterday low. So we're still just, we made some money. I don't know, 400 and 400-ish between the ES and the NAS, not on gold. But just we need the confirmation. We need the close below. And right now we don't have it. 5-minute. Hold on. Now we're trying to move again. We need this to close again, which is going to be late. We've got 2 minutes left on this candle. And gold is just sitting kind of pretty flat now. If I go to the tiny time frame, we're just, nope, just staying in this range. Nothing yet. Oh, sorry, guys. We really need it to break and do something, but it's not. ES was smooth. Perfect. And so was YM. Although I haven't traded a lot of YM. This was clean. 1 minute time frame too. 2-minute time frame, clean. 5-minute time frame, clean. Perfect. 15-minute. We're headed straight there. No, do not pass go. Do not stop. All the things. But we'll see. Gold's trying to push up a little bit on the 1 minute. We got a bullish candle. The indices are still kind of falling down a little bit. ES and YM have really made their move already. So if I'm looking for one more entry this morning, I'm looking for it on NQ. 1 minute time frame, we're making a little bit of a pullback. We want to stay below pre-market low now. That's going to give us the direction on the day. But if not, if you've made your money, we're done. If you've made money, please put it in the chat. I'll take a screenshot and post it in all the groups and everything. It will help exponentially. And then if you have questions, comments on Breakout, JGS, Life that I can help with and I'm qualified to help with, trading, investing, schedules, all the things, please do come on out or raise your hand. And otherwise, this is quick. This is not complicated. It's really not. Not too bad anyways. Not at all. We're pulling back up now. 6. Pull this down. All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to babysit Naz for a little while. So, if you guys have any questions, comments, breakout, let's see. Pulling up, and gold's now pushing down. It's going to tap it. Going to be out. I try to give it a little bit more room. Just won't move.
I have a question.
Come on out.
So earlier, meaning uses the breakout region.
Oh, sweetheart, I really want to hear you, but it's kind of breaking up. Can you try that again?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
That was better. Yeah, a little bit less robotic. Go ahead.
Sorry. You were talking about the breakout strategy, like pre-market, like Asian, I guess 6 p.m. But I didn't know what was that being used on? I know you named 2 different. Was it NAS and gold, or was it ES and gold?
So you can trade this on any instrument. So like, for example, Uncle P uses it on like some stuff I've never even looked at, like the 6As and 6Bs and 6Js. Another person uses it at 6 p.m., which is when the market opens, right? Like literally market open. You can use it on whatever strategy, whichever instrument and or time that you would like to use it. I think your question is pre-market and Asian. Those are separate topics, but a lot of people are using the 8 p.m. Okay, that's 2000, so 20 o'clock military time. Obviously your time frame is gonna need to be 8 p.m. on yours. This one 15-minute time frame doesn't look all that great, but to kind of give you an idea, let's see if I can't get to it. And all you're doing is taking the breakout. So for example, this one breaks out to the downside, super smooth. This is 9:30 yesterday. This is 8 p.m. We're gonna break down a little bit. We popped up, sold for the rest of the day. But you're just using it as a breakout, indicator. So here you go, you break out, you buy. I have mine turned to a really small distance, so it's only on like 5 candles or something. You can have this extend much, much farther. That's where you're taking it here, you're taking it back again here, okay? You can extend this out quite a bit of ways. I just have it turned down real small to say, hey, if I either get my entry or I don't, and then I'm trying to get off the charts quicker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that. I'm on the West Coast, and I get off in the morning. By the time I'm usually just listening in on the session.
So what's your schedule like so you live on the West Coast? If you got to trade like 1 or 2 times a day, what time would that be West Coast time?
So I think I'm gonna start trying. Let's see. So if I did my time, it'd be like 5:36. So that would be Asian PM. But like in the morning right now, it's literally 6:30. So like right now I'm driving. I'm listening and driving, and so.
So wait, 6:30 your time is 9:30 my time, right?
Correct.
Okay, so you don't want to be trading at that time. Do you have time like in pre-market time, like think 5:30 a.m. your time, or no? Or you're at work at that time?
I'm literally at work. I mean, I do if I'm down, but
okay.
Which
So what time do you go in at night?
Question.
What time do you go in at night?
Yes, 10 p.m.
So 10 p.m. your time, I'm just doing public math here, is 1 a.m. my time, right? So you could do here. Let's go play a little bit. Let's play. So for you, I'm going to turn off New York because you're working. You can't be there. Ignore the titles. Those are insignificant. Those are just words. For you, we could do something like 1900, which is 7 p.m. my time. Hold on, let me think. That's 4 p.m. your time. We could do 2100. And I'm even going to go and say 2200 my time. And I'll show you what that would look like for you. So that's any of these times work with your schedule where you just gold is tanking. I'm out on gold, loss on gold. Boo. So anyways.
You didn't turn on the first time zone.
Oh, thank you, Scott. Okay, so ignore the titles. Those are insignificant for a second. And these are all pretty close. So I'm going to make this only 10. But just to kind of give you an idea of what that looks like, this is NQ. I'm not going to show you perfection. This is not, and I'm going to turn off the pip counter too, so it's not in our way, especially with it being so close. But just to show you what that looks like, this is the 2-minute time frame. You took this one doesn't really close above, so you could have taken it here if you're taking break. You take it here if you're taking closes. Comes pretty close to target. Wins based off of your management, maybe not. This comes back down to 50%, breaks out and sells. Cool. That gives you 2 entries. This one gives you 1 entry. Again, doesn't quite hit that first whole range. This one is 21 o'clock, so 9 p.m. my time. That's 6 p.m. your time. You take your 1 entry. This one kind of consolidates more, so definite loss. And I'm just going to go on NQ. Or what's your favorite instrument?
So I do like MQ and I do YM as well.
Okay, we'll go take a look at both. So this is 7 o'clock my time. There you go. Perfect trade. Great trade. Great trade. This one's pretty messy, although technically I think it wins. It's messy though. It's just not a very big range. So look, it breaks down, hits that target, breaks up, hits that target, never comes to the other side. So that's a couple of days worth of an example, just trading those days, only 2-minute time frame. Okay. And no, these ones happen to be perfect. You're gonna hit losing streaks and losing weeks. It's part of trading. Lying or, running from that is just, it's a recipe for disaster. Losing is part of a healthy trading plan. So let's go there.
Also, if you look at like an hourly chart and show you the open or the times that the market is open and the pre and post market areas, the biggest movements lately have been in the off hours.
Oh my gosh, God, I hate it, but it's so true. I was talking to Rosie about that this morning on my walk.
Which means, Robert, as you are trading in different hours, you may have an advantage right now.
Yes.
So sometimes, a lot of times, I say, I guess they call it like that, the power hour. If I'm able to get up, so basically, a lot of times, by the time I get home, it's about 8 o'clock my time, so 9, 10, 11 market time or New York, and I'll stay up and watch through lunch, and sometimes it just goes crazy after lunch. I mean, I get not crazy, but there's a lot of volume.
Well, there is. So like back to Scott's point for a second, right now Asian's moving pretty well. That won't always be the case. Right now, New York PM is moving pretty well. Again, that's not always going to be the case. And New York isn't always going to be moving well. That's not always going to be the case. But to pick a healthy schedule that works for your job, your life, whatever, that's always going to be the case. So that's what I would try to tailor everything to. But we'll go to YM for a second. As you can see, 2-minute time frame, 1 loss, 1. This one, hopefully by the time you got to here, you'd be exhausted. If not by here, but if not, this is a break even or win or loss based off of your management. So I'm going to go real quick to YM. This is only doing that. Now, of course, you could do New York PM like afternoon, but at the same time, I want you to pick the schedule that's best for you. So if that means, how do you say, if that means you want to come home from work and stay awake, we need to be looking at afternoon time. If that means you want to come home from work, relax and go to bed, and then do this before you go into work, then we're looking at Sydney session. And only you can decide that. Only you. But we're on YM. This is 2 minutes. As you can see, there's not a lot of volume. There's not enough real volume, although they technically play out real well. I'm going to have to pop up to a 5-minute because that's that view isn't enough. So now on the 5 minute, win, 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 win. And I can just go through this with you, just following the rules. And this is the 5 minute. They're not always going to be that way. Win, it literally gave you nothing. Win, loss. YM is a little tricky, I think, because of the volume. That's just spiky all over the place. Loss, if you didn't lose your mind in this process. Nothing, nothing, win. Like, loss, maybe win. With this right here, not enough. So I don't personally think I would be targeting YM. Now, if I took those same settings and I go to gold, watch this. Gold would probably be better for that Asian session, or even oil. This is still in the 5 minute. Win, chop, chop, that's a loss. Win, that's a win. And I'm doing this based off of closes. So win, 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 multiple wins based off of how you're trading. But just
Gold,
idea.
5 minute.
Oil. And this is oil. Win, win, no. This is a loss. One loss. If you took two in the same session, that's one loss, one win. That's a win. But just showing you, this is what it would look like approximately. There's not a lot of volume, and we're all the way on the 5 minute for some of these instruments. Now, if you said, hey, look, I want to do this in PM, you're going to get home, you said at 9 o'clock your time, which is 12 o'clock my time, right?
Yes.
So you'd be looking at that. And right now, like Scott just said, I feel like afternoons and Asian is a great time to trade. I don't think that's always the case, but I think it is the case right now.
Yeah, and the market makers like to switch things up so that, you know, they don't want to show their hand too much. If they get really predictable, they start to lose.
Now, isn't it certain seasons as well? Like summer's about to, summer's about to kick in, so things kind of change up, I guess. And
Yeah, that can be part of it. But we are trading U.S. markets.
right.
Although
Just to,
gold, not so much, you know.
so question, you said 12 my time. Which would you prefer, to trade in the evening or trade in New York
I'm
PM?
gonna try to switch it up and do some evening, because I can actually, evening. It's rare. The only day that I can actually trade while I'm on the phone is Monday morning. So I don't work Sunday night. So that's my day when I'm locked in with you guys. And
Well, let's say, never mind the market, okay? For your life,
Yeah.
what are the times that you could best put in and have good brain space and enough space in your life that you can sit and concentrate for a couple of hours?
yeah, so I am gonna try doing the evening a little bit more, because if I can get up, so that would be Asians is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So that's 5, 4, 3 o'clock. Yeah. See, that's that's 3 o'clock. Then I would stay up until I go into work.
I would say, look, since you have to sleep sometimes, sweetheart. So like it sounds like you have a long commute too. So figure you have a long commute, and I'm just spitfiring here, but you go home, you have some, I don't know if you're married or have kids or whatever, but do the things around the house with the people you need to do the things with. You go to sleep, and that still gives you 6 to 8 hours. Wake up 7 and whatever, you're trading for an hour or two, and then you can go to work. Like, you don't have to pick every single one of those times. You can pick the ones that best suit you. So a 2 hour window is more than enough. Honestly, a 2 hour window is plenty.
And the other thing to experiment with is you don't necessarily need to be tied to an open of a particular market. You can pick an arbitrary point and then backtest it and see what it looks like. That's part of what Jenny's doing here, is sort of saying, okay, let's just look at some hours. I've certainly noticed that, you know, at the top of an hour, you get big moves.
So this whole thing, what I've been doing, Scott, with the 1 hour thing, is banking on the fact that at the top of an hour, you get enough of a move in one direction or the other. Like literally, obviously you can filter it with trend, you can filter it with what the 1 hour candle looks like previously, and I definitely highly recommend that. But if you're looking at the previous 1 hour candles and you're literally just targeting the 1 hour opens, and you can do the same thing with a 30-minute time frame.
Oh, and what you're doing, what you're leveraging there is that, traders that are trading on a 1 hour or a 30-minute chart
Are
are
taking profit.
making their moves when candles close.
Yep, or no, they're taking their profit. So watch. If this is what I've been doing, guys, is if the 1 hour candle, I'm going to turn off indicators for a second. So let's just look at some previous price action for a second. If this is the previous 1 hour candle, and I know this is not a good example, but it's a real one, so I want to use it, has been this big, I'm banking on the fact that this next candle is going to have enough of a pullback because we're really only looking for a couple of points, right? This is a bad example, but let's keep talking. We've got this strong bullish momentum. This candle has closed. This candle has closed with no wick. I'm banking when I get that 2 minute breakout on that next, whatever, 11 o'clock entry. I know I can get enough out of that. We're selling right now. I know I can go with the trend and that stop loss can't be as tight, but let's say here, cool, we're in a selling trend. I know we're going to be trying to take this level or this level. I'm pretty confident of that. So now I can wait now on my little next hour breakout and just sell it down. Right? It's not always going to be perfect. There's no way it's going to be perfect, but it really is kind of a smooth, beautiful process to say, hey, oh, we've been flat, all these candles, we've had a strong wick to this candle to the upside. This next 1 hour candle opens, I'm looking to break down. And then there you go. Like you're just looking at price action at that point, and it works really well, actually. Really well. The hard part is not over trading, I think. What all this comes down to is trader A over here, she's been loving the market open, which I think is very interesting. And if that's when you're available, just do it and then be done. Like David, he likes 6 a.m. And if I wanted to build my life around that, think about what your life could be like if you could just trade one trade, whatever, at 6 a.m., go do your workout, spend time with your family, do your day job if you've got one. And that's all you had to do. Especially once you have enough capital that you're running your own money, or maybe you have some hands-free methods like Dragonfly and like the US 30 copier. You've got these things that are now building you side income, and now you're trading manually. Your account's big enough, or you've got enough props. You're good to go. You literally don't need to go trade all day long. You're just done. You won or you lost.
Better off not trading all day long.
Oh Jesus, Scott, excuse my French. Yes, it's been a heavy topic lately of how much people are on this and trading all the time. It's a big deal. So
There are very few people that can sustain, there are people that can grind away and make money all day long, but it's not very many of them.
and I feel like that's also seasonal. I hate to admit that, but I feel like that's also very seasonal, guys. Like just because you can one day, you took it in New York, you took it in pre-market, you took it in afternoon, you took it in Asian, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm up 100 grand today in all those prop firms. You convince yourself that that's possible. And then any other day that's not 100K, you're like, I'm a loser, I'm not good enough, what's wrong with me? It eats at your psychology. And the likeliness of you doing that 100K day again is so small, especially in your beginner stages. The next day might be 5K or 10K, or you blew up because you tried to trade all the darn sessions, and now that's catastrophic. You've lost everything. So I promise you, 100K not realized is not worth a darn. Ask me how I know. Ask me. I promise. I hate TradeZella. I love and hate TradeZella. Look how much you can do if you just link all these accounts together. It's amazing, but it's very disheartening to go from 100K a day to you're up 5K. It sparks a feeling, and I hate to admit it because in Forex I had my feelings all pretty well managed, and in futures my feelings came back into the picture like, hey, wait, hello darkness, my old friend. Like, kind of what it feels like, that song, you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a Disney song. That's what it feels like. Hello, I'm still here, do you remember me? So be careful with that. You shouldn't be in every session. Nobody should be, including me. Including me. We give you all those options, guys. So if your schedule, okay, can allow you to trade Asian, you trade Asian. If your schedule is better suited for pre-New York, do that. If your schedule is better for this, then you have the options. Not so you can use them all, but just so you can choose one to use or two to use at most. But is your name
Something
Al?
else we haven't talked about in ages is, 2, 3 years ago, we were talking about compounding. And something to realize is that going slow and steady, if you can get one trade a day, and let's just say you are making 1% per day, you are 7xing your money. It's about 7.5 times your money in 200 trading days of a year. So that gives you time for vacations, gives you time for other things. So let's say you can put 10K in a trading account and you can do that. That means at the end of that period of time, you got 75K. And the next year, you've got, 7 times that.
1% a day is 7K a year, or 7 times a year.
Yep, 7.5 times in 200 trading days.
1% a day.
1% a day. And so that means that, you grow it for a year, you don't take anything out. And then you can then take, do your 1% trades and then take some of that out to live on and still continue to grow.
Compound interest at its finest. I miss talking about compounding. I think we've spent so much time talking about, prop firms here lately. We forget the ultimate goal is taking your own $5,000 or $10,000 account and just compounding it. The first few months, you're probably not taking withdrawals. Yes, you need to have off-risk capital, as in money to pay your bills and to live with or to reload if necessary. So don't ever put your only 5 or 10K in there. But go for your 0.25% a day until you've mastered the skill. Go for your 0.5% a day. And at first, it doesn't seem like much. You're like, I only got $50 when everyone else is sharing that they got 5,000. But $50 compounded changes your life when you get the skill, when you master all those aspects. Whereas $5,000 doesn't compound if you're just whimsically gambling or lucky sometimes. I still think trading your own account is the end goal. And it's the end all be all. So it truly is, because the cost of everything else, it's just a big cost. Big cost. Look at this. And stupid gold. That's 3 losses in a week. We haven't had 3 losses in a week in a long time. And I didn't even trade Tuesday night to make up for that either. So it'll be a low week. But that's okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts on that? Is anybody practicing compounding? I've gotten a lot of DMs about different brokers. I personally would use AMP if I'm using my own, just to say it on here as well. It's AMP or Optimus. I've heard good things about Optimus. I don't have that experience. So
I haven't seen anybody with lower futures commissions and coupled with low margin requirements than AMP.
Yeah, AMP. I put a couple $100 into the Ninja Trader / TraderVate account, and it wasn't even enough to take a trade. Whereas on AMP, that would have been enough to trade a MYM at least. I think it would have let me open an MNQ with the amount that I put in there. But I just put it in there so I could keep that little live thing updated. I wasn't going to trade it. I was just kind of surprised. I was very, very surprised because I was trying all this linking software. But
Yeah,
AMP,
'cause
sure.
the margin requirements on a lot of the brokers are much higher. It's $50 to put on a micro trade. There's some variance. I think NASDAQ is $100 you've got to have in margin. Everybody pays the same as far as the tick values and stuff like that. That's broker, or not broker, but exchange rates. So, but the margin requirements are different. So, shop around when you're looking for a personal broker. I too recommend AMP.
Yeah, I like AMP. There's gold.
And they have lots of platforms.
Their sales pitch on their website recently, Scott, was something like no high pressure, platform requirement. And I thought it was funny if you've been on there recently.
Yeah, because they've got over 50 platforms and, something like 20 free platforms.
That's a big deal too. Crude is moving down. Well, that's it, guys. Any other questions? Last call for questions, comments, all the things.
And ES is moving back in range.
All of the indices are. The indices are going up. Gold's going down. But we've been in this little range, for now a couple of days. NFP is tomorrow, so We've been here. We've already taken the high. I'd like to see this be a retest and come down, but we might just sit still until NFP because we're right back in this little centerpiece. Lower side than where we stayed at last time, which we stayed at for a little while. Lower, lower, lower. That's it. We've got a lot of cool things coming up. The team is working tirelessly behind the scenes on quite a few things, including the breakout update, which should be exponentially life-changing if you guys are using it and loving it. If you're having success with it, please continue to post in the groups and all the things. Speaking of which, Sandra.
Jenny.
Oh, well, yeah, yep, you're next. But Sandra, David, Robert, obviously Barika, Scott, all the people in the team, Miss Barbara who's posting the news. Thank you for everybody who keeps posting in there, that just posting your screenshots and what you're up to or your, what you're working on. I super appreciate it. That is the whole point of the community. So thank you for your posting all the time. I appreciate you. I love you and thank you. And now who said Miss Jenny?
This is Earl. My question is, how do I train myself on how to look for the market on just different time frame? Because I work midnight shift sometimes and day shift sometimes, and I'm like trying to do it without being so tired.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to like do the market charts and basically trying to learn from there.
Okay, so if I were you or you were my bestie, I would tell you number one, you're gonna get some of those like funky glasses. I know this sounds dumb, but this is what I would tell you if you were my best friend. So I would have you get like the blue light glasses, the nighttime ones, and then the daytime ones. I forget the Breakout mentioned one company that has clear ones. The ones I use are, hold on, I can give you this answer. They're the one Dave Asprey. Oh, True Dark. True Dark is a little bit more science based, but I would do that number one because all of this, it works, it messes with your psyche, it messes with your emotions. I don't care what anybody says, all this screen time is not too healthy. Barika said Gunner, if you want the clear ones, and if I ever want to be on camera, I probably need the clear ones because these yellow ones are not aesthetic, as my daughter would tell me. But anyways, Gunner or True Dark. True Dark is science based.
Back off of that for just a second. You should definitely return to it. But Earl,
Yes.
if you are not trading, if you're not trading at all and you're working your shift hours, is there any time of day that you feel good?
Well, we're gonna get to all that, Scott. I'm giving the whole breakdown.
Well, no, I'm wondering, if if the shift work is switching around too much, he might always be chasing feeling good and never quite getting there.
Fair. So
Okay.
since right now you need your job, it's how you pay your bills. So I would build my life around a way to making it work until I could, switch out the job. So number one, again, those light glasses are going to help with your screen time and your sleep because your sleep is going to ultimately mess up everything you're doing trading. But kind of to bring in what Scott was saying, the time that you feel good, that is so variable and we can't plan around that. So what I would do is
Well,
I would
even what I was saying beyond that is if there isn't a time that you're feeling good, start working on that first.
when
You
you
need
say
to have your whole brain engaged to do this.
Okay. Okay. I can understand that.
okay, so yes, feeling good. But back to what I'm saying, true dark glasses. Obviously, you're going to try to sleep as solid as possible. So make sure that when you're asleep, you're asleep. Don't be interrupting your sleep because shift work is hard. I know nurses who it's hard. It's a hard life. When you're one day you're on, one day you're off, 24-hour shift here, 12 hours here. You're never sleeping like in the day or in the night. It's the most difficult schedule possible. So all those health routines like the glasses, make sure your room is totally dark. When you're asleep, you're asleep. You're turning off everything. No phones, no trade alerts, no nothing. Obviously, you need nutrition, but that's going to help get you into, as Scott was saying, feel good. Beyond that, I would, I'm sure you have one weekend day or what I would call a weekend day. So whatever day that is for you, I would spend that day going to the 4 hour time frame or the 1 hour time frame and marking up key levels. So if let me save this. I'm going to go to trend lines. Okay. Let's go to gold. Let's just go to an instrument we don't have anything on. Let's go to silver. There we go. We're on silver. On the 4 hour time frame, I would mark up the key levels, key trend lines that I would be looking for throughout the week. Because remember, you don't want to be spending too much screen time and or trying to figure out what you're looking for in the few little pockets of time that you have to trade. So if I already have my last week's high and last week's low, or if I already have this trend line, okay, kind of showing me what I'm looking for, and then this move is coming, I know, hey, if I'm selling this, I'm targeting down to here, prior to that being tapped. I know because I've already had this marked up, right? So I would once a week I would come in and whatever day that falls on, it might not be a weekend as us normal non-shift workers call it, but that would be the next step. So I hope you're writing all this stuff down. This is
Yes.
honestly what I do. Like mark up your highs, your lows. I like areas of interest a lot because that works for me and we have all kinds of videos on it, but you can use whatever. So if your brain says I like order blocks or ICT concepts or quarter points or Fibonacci, by all means, stick to that. For me, I would be looking more at your areas of interest and your trend lines. But they all kind of they're the same thing. They're just in a different dress. It's the same thing, just different dress. So for me, if I'm coming to this chart and this is the high and this is the low, I'm going to be coming in here. I'm going to get ranges because remember, I'm not looking for that millisecond of things. So if this is the last price I see on the chart, this is my high, this is my low. I want to know where the low is and the high, and I'm going to mark that up. But then I'm also going to go to like that last bearish candle before this bullish move up. Okay. And I'm going to make my little,
Okay.
and there's videos on how I do my areas of interest because I kind of feel like my areas of interest are all encompassing. And I know that's kind of self-absorbed, but I just think they are. I think they kind of encompass order blocks, they encompass fair value gaps and imbalances, they encompass most of the things that matter. But I would draw these little areas of interest all around the chart. So if this is the last bullish candle before that bearish move down, and I would have these zones on the chart. So now if I'm trying to look for my targets of where I'm selling to, I know where I'm looking for a reaction. And the reason why you need this is because you have less time to trade and less mental energy, which is the key part to trade on the day you come to the chart. You want this stuff already predefined. So you want to know the bigger trend, you want to know the areas of interest, you want to know the high, that's a black line bet, and you want to know the low of the zone that you're looking at. So when price starts moving, okay, pretending like we can't see any of that stuff, and this is the last part we see, we know where we're looking for this reactions. And all those reaction areas are telling us is if I'm trading toward it, I know this is where I'm going to put my take profit or where I'm going to start looking to get out. If we're inside of it, I know we're looking for a break and a retest. And that's going to help us with whether we're using JGS, whether we're using the breakout, it's going to help me with an overall picture to where now it's Monday morning and I happen to be off today, or I'm happen to be off during New York Open. I'm going to take a trade. I know I can buy it up to this zone, or if I'm going to sell it down to this zone. And so I have areas that I'm looking for that just help my decision-making process way, way simpler. And then last but not least, I would really focus probably something on the breakout strategy is something where you can obviously use different sessions. So the benefit of that is maybe one day you traded the Sydney breakout, it worked out or it didn't. You're allowed to take up to 3 trades at a time, three, trades per trade window that you're trading. Win, lose, or draw. You're never going to take more than 2 losses, right? You're allowed to take up to 3 trades, no more than that. And maybe the next day you didn't trade much because your sleep just fell on a weird cycle. But then let's say day 3, you were available for New York PM, you know, New York
Okay.
PM. I would say, okay, cool. I'm going to trade the 2:30 breakout. I like the 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Sometimes to look at for me, if you're writing all this down, is 8 a.m. I like that. 9:30 is obviously New York Open, but a lot more volatility. I like 12:30, believe it or not, which is noon 30. I like 2:30, and I like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those are my favorites. Now, other people, they've liked 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some people like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and just taking the breakout of that. But any one of those, you can pick one or two based off of what you're available on that week and having like your pre-stuff marked out when price starts moving, hey, look, we're breaking now this trend line, this smaller trend line. You already have this, since this is the 4 hour, when this day comes, you already have a big picture of the market. So now coming in to take that breakout, or let's say you're using JGS, I'm going to spend my 30 minutes to an hour trading and then I'm done. But I would cap it. So I wouldn't allow myself, especially given that you're a shift worker, I wouldn't allow myself to be on the chart more than like an hour and a half or so. And that's hard. That's why you got to do this during a non-trading time, get a good picture of the market on the bigger time frame, think 4 hour daily. On the days you're trading, you're giving yourself an hour and a half at the most. Use breakout or JGS. You can take up to 3 trades at a time. It's okay if you don't trade every day. There's a lady, beautiful lady in our group. I think one day, and then because a lot of the prop firms don't require you to trade every day. So she hit the goal she needed to hit, for her payout or her eval, and then she didn't trade again for 3 or 4 days. And then she hit the goals she needed to hit for her, whatever, and then she didn't trade again until, 8 days later or whenever, like the next time she had to trade. That allows her to trade in a way that she can still scalp and or swing. But I think it's possible. But honestly, it starts with you. It starts with, let me get my eyes right, my sleep right, because you can't fix a lot of that. My diet, make sure you have a good picture before you come in, and then a good strategy that says I'm allowed to take 1 to 3 trades, 30 minutes at a time max. Oh, sorry, an hour and 30 minutes at a time max, win, lose, or draw, and then I'll do it again. Tomorrow you might have an 18-hour shift or something to where you just didn't have the time because you were sleeping and or working, and just kind of fit it in whatever one of those sessions, because any of those sessions are going to be just fine.
Okay, yeah, this is very, very helpful.
Wait, the last thing I'm going to say is this: because you can't master a time frame, you have to master a strategy. You have to master your management. You have to master that. Like, there's no way around it. You can be successful as a shift worker. And if you win, and if you are, you got to come back and say, hey, Jenny, you helped me through this. And I can't wait to hear it. But I'm telling you right now, I got really good at mastering certain times of day because I understood the time of day, the volume, the stuff that came in. And a lot of other traders too. Hence the reason all this tariff and Trump stuff has really torn up everybody. But since you will probably never be able to do that, at least not anytime soon, to where you just understand Asian, order flow and Asian volume, you'll probably never be there. The only way that you're going to achieve this is if you truly master the strategy and your management. That's got to be on point 100%.
Okay, I understand everything. I wrote everything down. Thank you so much.
No, you are welcome. Well, sorry, my brain is just wiring and firing right now. And you also got to know, you can't be the person who says, hey, I'm going for 10 points. Because 10 points in Asian versus 10 points in New York PM and 10 points in New York Open are very different. You have to trade based off of price action as you see it, which sometimes might be 5 points, sometimes might be 10 points, but you're putting your stop loss with structure and doing a 1.5 or a 2 to 1 for your risk to reward. And it can't be, oh, I'm only going to risk 10 points. Oh, I'm only going for $300. Don't let that be part of your trading plan, because that will make you fail too.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. All the things I'm thinking of, I'll give it all to you. I promise. I promise. Okay. Anybody else? But that was a great question. I'm so glad. And I really want to hear how it goes for you. I really, really do.
Okay. All right.
In 1 month, you promise to follow up with me in 1 month?
Yes.
Okay, deal. 1 month. I can't wait to hear about it. Mattis, thank you. Was up 1,600 for the day before gold turned on me, and now up 860. Love you. Thank you. I love how we can like be up $30,000 and I'll get like 5 people who says, "Oh yeah, I made some money." But any one, like if NFP week, man, we'll hear about that all day. We'll hear about that all month. Yes, the gold trade lost, and we lost on Tuesday in case we want to make a poster. But losing is part of trading, guys. I don't know. I think it's God doing a work in me. I was really good in Forex and I still love it. I've been taking some more trades over there because it makes me feel happy and gooey inside and so easy to take my trade. But futures brings out another side, right? It brings out a whole nother side. And I think there's still work to be done and growth to have. The thing that I think I've been working on the most in the last few weeks is just knowing losing is part of it. Losing does not mean you failed or did bad. Losing is part of your big picture, trading plan. So the sooner you accept that, the sooner you rejoice about your net profitability over time, because fibbing or running from those losses is just a horrible way to be. Like, obviously we try to mitigate, we want to lose less or have a smaller loss. Sure, those are all part of the plan, but losing is part of your trading plan. And if it's not, you do not have a trading plan. So hopefully that helps a little bit. But Robert Lyons, I hope that that helped you as well. And that's all I've got for the day. So great class overall. Couple good winners, couple bad gold. Gold not so sexy today. Still kind of going down. You have unsaved changes. Sure, let's save them. Let's see. Let's see. But this is it. Look at gold. Look at this. Tomorrow's NFP. So plan some chop. You know, don't give back what you don't need to. Look like we're trying to come down. We came all the way back up. And really, we're just going to stay in this range for the time being. So stay out if you can. Gold. Here's gold. Let's go take a look. I do think big picture, I'm looking for gold to come take out this high. We've taken now pre-market low, but just still sitting there, not doing much. Part of trading. But happy Thursday. I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Do something fun and off the charts. And take care. And you made 1K today. Thank you, Queen. 1K on NQ. Good job. That's not bad at all. 1K a day keeps all the jobs away. That is huge.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank
This
you.
was great.
Mwah. Happy Thursday. Take care and God
Thanks
bless.
so much, Jenny. Thanks, everybody.
Bye
Thanks,
all.
guys. Bye, guys.
Thank you.